Vine was a big part of the problem. In the book, you said he has a heart of gold, but was a piece of shit at the same time.
Yeah, it's like he knew how to play both sides of the fence very well. When you sit back and you think of this organization, it's really like dealing with 5 families. Everybody's not going to agree. Too many things that are small things that become problems. Now, it's too many of them. So you have to say to yourself, you got to take some kind of responsibility, but at the same time, you got to go where the problem is at too. And a lot of times, the problem became with this guy. You can't tell us that, yo, you're going to fix something on the album and the next thing you know, it don't get fixed. And then on top of it, dudes don't like what they're hearing, but they still doing it. We was fucking pissed with it. A lot of us, majority of us was like, yo, this shit is an ugly baby right here, B. We love him to death, but that's an ugly one. Whatever it is what it is. But all I'm just trying to make a point to you that me and RZA had a lot of turbulence because I was speaking for the family, but this family wasn't really letting RZA know what they felt.
Peace. Back with another installment of Hip Hop History. In that clip, you just heard Raekwon the Chef speaking about what went wrong with Wu-Tang. And from watching the documentary on Hulu, or I don't think it was Paramount, it was Prime, I think it was Prime. It was either one of them. You know, I also watched like the first and second season of the actual Wu-Tang show. And I wasn't too much of a fan of the writing. And, you know, Raekwon also in the same interview talks about having Leonardo DiCaprio on board about making a Wu-Tang movie with all the members who still exist, the 9 members who still exist, you know, R.I.P. Old Dirty Bastard. But yeah, Leonardo wanted to get everybody together and create the movie. And Raekwon went to RZA and they spoke, and the RZA didn't want to do it with Leonardo DiCaprio. So then he came out with his own, that series, which people don't realize that the other members didn't really have any input on the particular situation. And then there was some fabricated stories in that show, like Ghost and Ray never had beef or anything like that. But anyway, I kind of digress. But I agree with him. After watching that documentary and, you know, hearing the members' perspective on what went wrong, and Divine was a big piece of that, because Divine didn't really bring anything to the table other than the fact that he was RZA's brother. They did another thing too. I think Power, who was in charge of the clothing line, everybody put money up and then they never got a return on their investment. So there were a lot of things that happened in Wu-Tang. I mean, they're big is crazy. You know, their movement is crazy. But a lot of things happened that hindered them from being bigger. You know, all these guys should be billionaires, man. From my perspective, I mean, from the outside looking in, and also you guys said this too in an interview, which you can find. He was like, RZA started dealing with the other groups and not focusing on Wu-Tang. From my perspective, the thing that made Into the 36 Chambers dope was the fact that everybody was involved. The thing that made Tikal dope was because everybody was involved. The thing that made Return to the 36 Chambers, everybody was involved, so it was dope. What made Liquid Swords dope was because everybody was involved. What made the Purple Tape dope was because everybody was involved. And then the RZA started focusing more on, I wouldn't say more on, but started focusing on Sons of Man, Grave Diggers, Killer Army, instead of focusing on You God, Master Killer, Deck, and Cap. Those are the four guys that when their first albums actually dropped, the momentum was already over. You got 10 people in this group. Those are the people that you need to focus on. And all those albums were group albums for real, because everybody was featured on it. So I totally agree, and I know another thing too, what Chef is saying too, is that he was the one that was outspoken, and that was the truth. He was the first one that wanted out of Wu-Tang. Not like, you know, he didn't want to be around his brothers anymore. He just the business wasn't going right, so he needed money, so he had to get up out of there. That's why his second album wasn't really RZA didn't produce the whole thing. Immobilarity. He had people like Pete Rock and and other producers producing on it. Chef was the first one to break off and start doing his own thing, because he noticed the business side, that Divine was being shady with the business. So, I mean, man, sorry to be animated, but, you know, when I sit back and I think, because these guys, man, I love these dudes, man. I love these dudes. I don't even know them. You know what I mean? I love what they bring to the table. I love what they bring to hip hop. It's you know, it's unfortunate that these guys, you know, of course, you know, money isn't everything, but these guys should be on top of the world, man. They should be on Jay-Z status, every one of them. Every one of them, from my perspective. This is just my 2 cents. You can take it, sell it, throw it away. It doesn't matter. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, peace.